computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Welcome, everybody. This time on the Blind Wave podcast, we talk about...
You know what show we're talking about?
Titans!
No!
Oh.
I've got a lot to say about Titans, too.
Did I have a theme song? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I
But,
don't care to learn.
But yeah, Attack on Titan. We have finally gotten to watch all of Attack on Titan after their final season, part two.
I have watched all of Attack on Titan. You fools cannot say the same.
What?
What?
Did you binge it?
No.
What?
You guys didn't watch the OVAs.
I watched the OVAs before you did.
What?
Really?
Yeah, because I watched Attack on Titan while you guys were still doing up to season 3, I think.
Nice.
I'm sure I haven't seen them all. But they're a lot, and they're 30 minutes long.
Yeah, there's like
You didn't know.
12 of them or something.
I watched them so long ago, I forgot how long they were. I really only remember the Levi one.
No regrets.
No regrets.
So we're going to be talking about different things, maybe things that we didn't get to talk about before, maybe things you guys want us to talk about, but we just missed.
Mhm. Like
so-
we missed that syringe. Way back when.
Gotta keep bringing it up.
I miss it.
So there will be an option where you guys can submit questions here on Twitch, and we will probably get into some of those throughout the podcast. There's also some various things that we have to talk about.
Eric, when did we start Attack on Titan? How long a journey has it been?
Oh my gosh, you mean like the first reaction?
Yeah. I know it's old enough that it broke the website.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we had a new website, and it was doing just fine until Attack on Titan happened and got flooded.
Let's see. It was. Here's the first video.
5 years ago.
Done.
Eric, it looks like May 11th, 2018.
Yeah,
was
5 years ago.
The very first reaction we had
Hey.
up for it.
And that's only half of the amount of time it's been available to people, right? 2013 was when it came out, right?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
10
I remember
years.
like we caught up and we're like, all right, what's next? Like, well, people have been waiting for years. I'm like, what? And then we waited for a while.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we waited a little, well, it felt like forever for the actual end.
Yeah.
Like that last season took a long time.
It did. It really did.
It took from 2013 to 2018 for season 2. Is that what I think Barry is saying?
Wow, really?
You say released in 2013, the first season?
I think 2013 is when it came out. Am I wrong about that? Like I just saw it somewhere,
but
but nowhere available to
September of 2013 it looks like.
me.
That's a long time to wait, but yeah.
Yeah.
It,
I originally watched season 1 when it originally released on Netflix. I'm not sure what year it was
Mhm.
and how long it had been on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it was in the fall, getting towards like Thanksgiving. But I binged it, and it was deeply disturbing, and I loved it, and I wanted more. And it was one of those shows that I kept in the back of my head for a long time. I was like, I need to check on Netflix and see, if the next season dropped or whatever. Kept checking, and eventually I just gave up because it was never there.
Yeah, sure. Eric, you also watched first season or two off of reactions and stuff too.
Yes, I did. I watched it when I was still long distance with Jancy. It was one of those shows where, like, hey, we have like 14 days together. What do you want to do? It's like, let's watch Attack on Titan. And you would say, is it romantic? Sure. What do you got, Calvin? Oh, did you bring him down? I almost said I forgot.
Eric-
and the fun thing about
Calvin
this
just
is that
handed me
when we were... Huh?
He just handed me a popsicle out of
He
nowhere.
handed you a popsicle. Well, let me give you some context. So, when Jancy was first watching the first episode, she was having a popsicle very much like this. It was red, it was gooey, and during
It had
the moment
strawberries
when
in it.
Aaron's mother is eaten by the Titan, she's kind of like looking at me like, this, with red on their mouth, like, oh, I don't want this anymore. So, in celebration of that, popsicles.
So that's why we have a red strawberry popsicle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that situation
Nope.
happen for me.
Yeah.
So, that would
I ate
be-
all my meals during Attack on Titan when I watched it.
And it was a very special time too, because we weren't sitting where we're sitting today, which is like having a grasp on everything that's happened so far. Back then, it's just like I don't know what's going on, but I'm loving it.
Sure.
And I'll never have that feeling with the show again.
No, I get what you mean. The first few seasons definitely have that mystery box of just being.
It's one of the best that I've experienced. Definitely.
Yeah, I remember just being like trying, like sitting there with just what notes I have, trying to be like, well, is it this? What route are we going with the story? I don't understand where this stuff comes from. Like, there was a lot of questions I had, and it gave me little by little, and maybe I missed stuff along the way sometimes, but it was a fun thing trying to be like, what is going on with this?
I love that feeling. I cherish the time when it's like, oh my God, I'm so intrigued, and I know there are answers, but I don't have them, and then having to wait for the next one. It's part of a lot of fandoms for me. I spent so much time with Lost like that when it was airing. It's like some of the bread and butter of good Blind Wav content too. Was like when you don't know what's happening, but you have so many ideas what could be happening.
Sure.
Like, when that first started, and you guys are like, okay, so they're on the Moon Titan.
I think that was Rick, right?
Yeah, they're on the Moon Titan, and these are some type of alien virus that's attached itself to human. I love the discovery of something that has, from the very beginning, obvious world building, but you don't know how that world was built.
Yeah,
Sure,
That's so exciting. I love that about video games. I love that about a lot of things, but this is, for me, some of the best anime has done it.
True.
Just in terms of sheer, like, what is happening? Because you are right there with your protagonists, and you're learning along the way. But as this thing turns out, Aaron, knowingly or unknowingly, knew a lot more. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I should go back and rewatch our reactions and see what kind of ridiculous ideas we had. Because I forgot, Rick, that you were like, yeah, we're on the Titan, the moon, right?
Yep.
Like, that's a interesting, like, because we were such a lack of, like, ideas of what it could be and what's going on, we went to space. Which is just a fun, I don't know. It gave options, I suppose.
It did. Yeah.
I guess speaking of the mystery, and we may touch on this too during our reaction, but with it being such a mystery show, what were your guys' thoughts on the way things came together and how they kind of wrapped stuff up and explained all the aspects of what was going on?
Sure. I mean, once we got into the like the Marley stuff, and especially season 2 had like a lot of like hints towards this thing, but once we like got to see the world as it is as opposed to what it could be, that was definitely a huge shift for me. And then you're kind of left with, okay, well, what is Aaron going through? Why is he doing the things that he does? And then you have the whole kind of circle of consciousness thing coming in. But for me, it was definitely when we did cross that ocean. Like when those kids were like, oh my God, there's such a thing as an ocean, and then they crossed it. That was like the big turn for me, where I'm like, okay, I feel like now I'm at 90% knowing everything, as opposed to like 20, you know. And that last 10% was also good, but it took like a year and a half for it to come out.
It was a huge 10%. Like,
Yeah.
proportionally, that 10% was like 70%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the mysteries, and I was satisfied with every answer I got, I think. Like, I can't think of one that I was not satisfied by.
Yeah.
Which I think is a rare thing for a show that lived so much in its mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best to ever do it. Maybe the best.
It's the best that I've seen, I think. Like, I would put it among, like, my top 5 of any TV show comfortably, I think.
I certainly have moments or characters that I think about more than others that would put it up there for me. Like, there's just nothing more peak than the scouts going out, you know, in formation, and they have no idea what's going on, but son of a bitch, we got a plan.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to stick to it. They capture the female type, like that type of stuff. Like,
I mean,
it just charges me up.
The show just speaks to so many different aspects of humanity's nature,
It does.
right? Like,
Especially ignorance.
Well, ignorance, but a need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also others who are just willing to live in ignorance and like believe things.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like and I hate the ending of this. Like, you know, we get to the point where you learn like the origin more so of the Titans and how they're being made and how they were made before, and you know the different I don't know the subclasses and stuff within this like this world.
Yeah.
The archetypes.
But then like you get to the point where it's like we get to the end and here's like we can do peace. And then you have all the after credits stuff and it's like it just goes back to what it was before basically. And I'm like, I hate that. Like it feels too real where it's like we can have peace. But then people always will break that peace and we can't have peace. You know? Like and I think that's why like it ends and you're like, oh, cool. Well, all of this must not have been for nothing. And now there is like a peace idea going on and things hopefully can prosper around the world, even though it's a smaller percentage of the population now.
Yeah.
But then it just, 100 years go through and it just kind of recycles again where, I mean, wasn't there like a big gap? Like it was like, how long was it with, oh shoot, what's the girl's name that started all? Ymir?
Ymir.
Right? Like how long was it where she was, and then you have
2,000 years.
like there's a
right?
long time and this happens, and then
Yeah.
it's like, well, now we just waited, I don't know, let's just say 100 years, a couple hundred years, we go back into the same thing again, And I'm just like, man, it's like I kind of hate that, but it also I guess seems too real, and that's why I hate that.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, I love the ending, but I hate the feeling that it leaves you with.
The inevitability, right?
Yeah, because like the show is about freedom, right?
I suppose so, or like thinking that you have freedom.
Yeah, like I think that's probably its central theme, and just the idea that like wherever you have more than one being with freedom, you will have conflict at some point, and it's just a question of how you deal with that conflict.
Yep. That's the thing. Your main character, Aaron, strives for freedom, and I think he really gets to feel it for like 1 second his whole life, like truly feel, and then all the memories flush in of all the what's happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future, and now he's constrained. He's not free. He doesn't have free will. He's determined.
Sure, yeah.
And it's been determined.
It'd be weird to be like.
He's trying to
That's the
break it
thing with
all.
like the future too, right? Like he gets a glimpse of what happened in the past. He sees a glimpse of what's happening in the future.
Yeah.
He has this knowledge, and then like he's like, well, "This is what has to happen now."
Yeah.
Right? It's not like I can change it or I can do another course. It's like this is the route we have to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does feel like there isn't that freedom.
Yeah.
And like some people are fighting for the freedom, but also it kind of feels like it's all just predetermined, and this is what Aaron was wanting all along. I don't know. It is weird. So I guess you can say freedom is a big part of that, because there's the idea of like them being in the walls and like the subclass of, what Marley and Parody, and how they like rank their people basically
Sure.
and treat them, and
The cultural divide.
yeah. And there is that idea of like people that are wanting to be free and be able to make their own decisions and not feel like a lower class citizen. So, but then I don't know. By the end of it, you feel like, well, everything was already seen and decided, and everyone's choices were already determined when I first started watching. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. That's some of my thoughts. Like I really like it. I feel like it fits the ending and everything. Kind of wraps up and fits really well with where they went and how the story was playing out and everything. But I also don't like it because it just it almost just loops, and it feels like, in a way, it was all for naught. In a way,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, yes and no, but like, kind of like what Armin talks about, where it's kind of about like your experiences and like what you choose to value. And so like from a grander scale, yes, like they couldn't control it, but they could control what they felt about things, I guess. Kind of a way to look at it.
Those thoughts and choices and feelings still had value, even if ultimately nothing changes.
Well, sure. Like their feelings, my feelings wouldn't be like not real just because my choices also don't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I feel for all the characters and what they're going through, and the one siding with Aaron, the one siding against Aaron, like even like to the point of having to remove memories so that they get them afterwards, to where it's like, now I understand what was going through Aaron's head and why we did what we did. Like, I like all that aspect of it, but like I gotta remove that so that you do the things you're supposed to do, otherwise it may not happen. And I definitely understand all their feelings, and I think those are all warranted and real, and it just still, after all of it, like when you look at all the war and everything they had, I start thinking about the after credits or during credits and all that stuff, and being like they got some peace, but what all did it mean in the future in the grand scheme of it all? You know, like
was 2,200 years of war or whatever worth 150, 200 years of peace.
And the rumbling took out so many people, you know? Like, there was such destruction through all of that, you know?
Yeah, but the other thing is, like, you're not seeing the alternative, right?
Of just everyone dead?
Well, I mean...
What's the alternative?
Well, if they had not done those things, and things had not turned out that way, like, you don't see the other possibility, right? So, like, who's to say that wasn't the best? And... like, that's the best humanity could hope for.
I mean, sure. Like, we don't get to see that. Aaron, I don't think Aaron is given view of an alternate future, right? He just sees the future of what he's supposed to do, from what I understood of watching it, I believe. So, like, he also doesn't know, like, what is the outcome if he doesn't do the thing he does. Like, if they stayed on Paradis, like, does that just mean, like, their destruction is just... inevitable?
I know he considered a lot of alternatives, but I don't know if he had the chance to like live them out or not.
Yeah. I think from what I remember, he saw that as like his best option while also fulfilling his promise. Like, well, if he felt like breaking his promise, then he could do what he wanted to do and let all of Paradis be killed. But he wanted to save Paradis, right?
Sure. Or just every route he was trying to do still kind of led him to the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like every route within his very short lifespan as well.
Yeah. There's only so much influence that one person can have on a planet, you know?
Well, sure. And also he's on the, what do you have, 13 years at the one point, or what was it?
Yeah, it was 13 years until...
Yeah.
So, yeah, he didn't have a ton of time to be able to. So, yeah,
and I don't know. I always find he's a very tragic character because he's so bereft of being able to make his own choices.
Sure.
I mean, even just the idea that he's a Titan shifter was injected to him as a child, you know? Yeah. I saw there was an interesting thread talking about, like, even some of Aaron's first experiences with this stuff might have been not chosen for him. Like, when he bites his thumb to turn into a Titan, that's what his father, Grisha, did to turn to Attack Titan. And there's an idea that maybe, like, he was... because he would have those memories in there, even though they're not necessarily unlocked. Like, is that his choice to do that? Or is that just as it was like before, thus it is now?
Is it like a bred-in reflex kind of thing? Are you thinking?
One thing I loved, too, going into the end, was a chance to get glimpses of what previous Titans would look like or had looked like.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool, where it's like, oh, here are different cart Titans. Here's different armored Titans. Here's different beast Titans. You know, like that kind of thing was really cool.
It was cool.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed those. All those. It's almost like sometimes in Star Wars we get to see like concept art of previous characters used in...
Sure, like here's like an old design of what Chewbacca would have been,
but it's recycled into like another alien species, right?
Yeah,
or something like that. It's kind of what it felt like, but no, it was really cool. I liked all of those.
One of my favorite things throughout the years of doing it is Aaron keep bringing back the idea of like, why is there a whale in this intro?
There's a
and,
whale.
Like the dinosaurs and stuff.
Why is there dinosaurs?
And I thought, like, this is probably the one time I can actually go and try to find an answer. And some people are speculating that it's previous Beast Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I really thought of. Like,
so there was a whale Beast Titan?
Yeah.
Can he, like...
Why not?
Be on land? Can he fly? Like,
I mean...
Like,
if anything, being a whale beast titan is better than being a regular beast titan because world's 70% water. You know, like he has more rain, like Poseidon.
yeah, but no one's there.
Well, that's a human perspective.
You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
more life in the ocean.
I suppose, yeah. Like, you could go all kinds of places then, but like,
Well, I mean, what's one of the greatest inventions of military might is a navy.
yeah, sure. No, I mean that could be useful, but you know what? Flying would be better.
Maybe it's a flying whale.
Yeah, maybe. Do you think so? Was there like a dinosaur beast titan?
Maybe. That'd be cool.
I wonder what like.
But he had tiny arms, so he couldn't throw anything.
We never got any information as to like what determined their shape, right?
I kind of see it as like, what's your Patronus in Harry Potter? It's
Yeah.
Like, well, it's individual to each person. I don't know. Maybe something like that.
Is that
Like
okay?
certain traits in
Shape
your
is-
DNA
Shape as
Like,
far as
or
what?
your spirit.
Well, like the beast titan that we knew for the most part was kind of like ape-like, But is that
Sure.
just because the guy had like a lot of hair?
Well,
you know,
is that because
Uh,
that's the only animal that could throw a fastball?
maybe.
You know?
Falco. Why was Falco what he was? Like, why did
Compared to like Ymir.
Why do you get wings and stuff?
Because he
Okay,
was
gotcha.
named after a character that's a bird.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but like like that kind of thing. And then like Ymir's, like her cart or jaw. Was Ymir jaw?
Yeah.
Here was
No,
the jaw.
Yeah, she was jaw titan, wasn't she?
yeah.
Like her jaw titan looked very different from dang it, I'm trying.
Galliard.
Yeah, is that the one that had like the big like bony
I,
jaw?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Right? Like
Captain Morgan.
there's a very different look there, and I just wonder like what kind of determines those aspects, and I don't know if like the OVAs or OADs or whatever.
Well, it's whatever Ymir makes for them, right? Well, like
it-
that's what determines it.
Because she makes them.
Yeah.
Because she like crafts
Yeah.
them. I suppose, yeah.
like that dude up with Rita Repulsa that does the clay.
Yep. It's just like that dude.
Yeah.
So it's either whatever her current like
Finster.
Yeah.
whim is, or she looks inside that person and then decides what's best for them
Maybe.
or most appropriate. I don't know.
Someone said Zeke did have a monkey toy as a kid.
Hey.
But yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's in their mind, their idea of things. I don't know. I'm just curious because even like Attack Titans, Armor Titans, like we see a glimpse of all those. Like I wonder what is it? The person who's getting the Titan power?
Mhm.
Is it them? Is it just Ymir? Is Ymir looking into them, kind of getting an idea? I don't know.
I think it's a fair assumption that there's like something about you that's different from other people, and
Sure.
that can be like an Instagram filter onto the power,
Yeah, suppose so.
Popsicle was delicious, by the way.
Yeah, I ate mine already. And
Yeah.
didn't think at all about anything for Attack on Titan. Just ate that.
Nope.
No.
just ate
Nom,
it.
nom, nom.
It was
I
just like
thought about
pure
it and I
Titans
enjoyed it
do.
more.
Just eat.
We will be talking too about the intros.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have asked about like our intros and stuff, like what we like about those. There's also a few questions that we've had that have come in too.
Yeah.
One of which is from Ingvo, who just said like, "Who are your top 3 characters?"
Ooh.
Which I think is a tough list
Yeah.
to do.
Real tough.
If people want to put questions, how do they do that, Aaron?
On Twitch, you can click the little button for the Blind Wave tokens down in the bottom of Twitch chat, and you should be able to submit a question there with send in a question.
Sometimes when you do this, you feel like you're cheating when you say a main character.
I really liked Sasha. Like she's
Uh-huh.
probably in my top 3, but like it's tough because there's like Levi's great, Mikasa's great. I think Armin grew on me.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
think
yeah, he definitely grew.
I don't think he was one of my favorites early on.
Him.
Sure, yeah.
If I had to go rapid fire, it's Hanji,
Hanji was great too.
Irvin, and I really like Pixis. He was
Oh
always
yeah,
a,
he was
Commander
pretty
Pixis.
sweet.
anytime
Yeah.
he would pop up, I would be hell yeah, Pixis. I'm gonna go with those 3.
Well, because he was like one of those like he's like the leader teaching everybody, and then you
Yeah.
see him later, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that what Pixis was? Like he was kind of there in the beginning, and then he was gone, and he was back again. You're like, oh, he's
Yeah.
there.
I always loved his speeches. I'm a sucker for a good speech, which is why Irvin's in there. But Hanji too. I loved how like sadistically fascinated she was with Titans, especially in the early days. And like someone killed those 2 Titans they were keeping, she was like crying, no. But she also has probably the best death in the show. If you're gonna have a character die, having her fight in a literal blaze of glory is pretty badass.
I feel like I want to go with like Sasha. Man, there's a lot of really good characters.
Amazing character.
It's so hard. I don't know if these are necessarily in any order, but I think I'll go with Sasha, Hanji, and Reiner.
Yeah, that's great too. That's my favorite thing about the show. Like I can see a lot of people put their 3 in the chat too. Like no one's wrong.
Because like Reiner,
You know?
one thing I like with Reiner is like
Everyone's right.
there's that soldier aspect in him where he's like fighting for both sides.
Yeah.
But he believes he's fighting. When he believes he's fighting for the side he's on, he believes it.
The warrior,
You
the
know,
soldier,
and then he flips to the other side, and it's like, but then there's like by the end of it, like his, I don't know, his relationship that he has with is it Falco and Gabby?
Gabby.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like his relationship that he has with them, with like seeing like his mom and whatnot, like his parents and stuff. Like there's just a lot of stuff within him that I like, and he's like, he's with Marley, but then also like he's kind of like thinking about it and what he wants to do and what he should do, and
I mean
he's on his own timer and stuff too.
And both versions of him, both soldier and warrior, both were broken, and he still continued to fight.
Yeah,
I love that.
Sasha and her potato.
I always love the episode when Sasha returns to her village.
Yeah,
Yeah, like helps that little girl with the small titan and stuff.
Yeah.
I always like that.
I had too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be
I don't
Aaron, Armin, and Mikasa for me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Show doesn't exist without them. And, like, they're great characters. They're great together. They're great on their own. Yeah. Can't beat them.
My alternate like he can't get into my list of favorite characters of all time, but one I will always enjoy is Kenny. I love Kenny.
Well, he didn't say that. But no, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought about Kenny too, but I don't think he
Kenny's
was one of my
the
favorites. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed him in there and what he meant to Levi and stuff too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Levi's a great character as well.
Yeah. My top 3 are probably Hanji, Rhina, and Irvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's tough to choose between Irvin and Levi.
Mm-hmm.
They're both so good.
I
Irvin
agree.
just didn't have enough screen time,
Yeah, but
but also the perfect amount of screen time.
It's
like
good.
he sacrificed himself for, you know?
Not death.
It's always really good to have characters where it's like you wanted more of them, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
He's a true
definitely.
leader.
yeah, sure. And it also like it made the choice that had to be made in what was it, season 3? Is that when it was?
Yeah.
For Irvin and
Colossal.
Armin,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
whole thing, like it made that choice. Like, oh, like which one should we be going with here?
Mhm.
Like choose wisely, kind of thing.
Yep.
It was.
Mhm.
Yep.
I love that. That's so good.
It's really good.
And I don't think anyone mentioned it, but I think, like, Gene probably grew the most.
Oh yeah, from where he is in that first season as like almost like the antagonist in the class to just the absolute G he is all the way through.
Yeah, and
I
Connie
agree.
as well.
Connie, absolutely.
Both of them grew a tremendous amount.
I always really liked Annie as well, especially once we learned like who she was. When you go back and you watch those first times, like I really like what they have her do. She's just unfortunately sidelined for such a large part of the show.
Well, yeah. She's like in her turtle shell for
Yep.
like 3 seasons. It feels like,
Yeah.
But when she comes back, I'm like, oh, I was just, like so
that's-
hyped for it,
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite, one of the scenes that stick out the most was the first time the female Titan shows up, when it's like the horse riding and stuff.
Yeah, with the smoke and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, they have their plan of what they're trying to do with that, and
I love that part because when you rewatch it and you know the secrets, Armin says something like, "Keep your hood up because she won't know which one of us isn't Aaron." And
Yeah.
Reiner like puts his hood down so she can see his face, so she's not.
Don't
saying,
step on
"Don't
him."
step on me.
Interesting. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of, especially season 2 has a lot of stuff like that.
I haven't rewatched it. I want to.
Yeah.
Leon's asked me about it. And I've been waiting for him to get a little older and stuff to watch it with
Gotcha.
him, and I might just rewatch
Probably
it
a
with
good
him.
idea.
Give
Get
myself
a
some
little bit
time to
older.
kind of forget a little bit too.
Yeah, I get you.
And rewatch it with like some loose memories of it.
Yeah. My favorite. It has one of my favorite reveals when it's Rhina and Berthold being like, "Oh yeah, we're Titans."
On the
Dude,
wall.
like in the background.
the
Yep.
nonchalant. We're just gonna talk.
So anyway, we've been the Titans.
Yeah.
And then you're just listening to like I forget who it was.
Yeah.
I want to say like Mikasa or whoever it
Yeah.
was that's walking away, and you're like, wait, what'd they say?
Yeah,
It was Sasha, wasn't it?
It might have been Sasha. I don't remember. I don't remember who it
Yeah.
was walking away.
Yeah.
And like I remember watching and reacting to that and be like, wait, what? What'd they say?
Yeah.
What was that? But like we couldn't stop and rewind.
No, and that's the best. Like one of the best parts to watch various reactions to, because everybody watching does the same thing, which is like, oh, okay. Wait, what?
Wait, what'd they say?
What'd they say?
They
Did you
didn't
see
say
the
what I
subtitle?
thought they said, did they?
And I wonder, yeah, someone in Twitch chat said like that's the best scene to watch in dub. I wonder what that's like to watch in sub, because instead of just like kind of hearing it in the background, you're reading it right on the screen.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
No, I get
so
you.
that's definitely probably a big difference.
Yeah. Versus just loosely hearing it. Like, wait, what was that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Jake, you haven't finished Attack on Titan. Oh, Jake didn't like Attack on Titan.
All right.
But now you're getting all
Chat.
the answers.
No.
Attack Jake.
No. It's a pretty good show.
Yeah, no, it's one of the best. Like Calvin said, it might be in my top 5 ever. Ever.
An interesting question that's related to AOT, but
Yeah.
not exactly on AOT, is out of the 4 of you, whose basement is the most mysterious? Because the cellar is such a big part of
Yeah.
the first 2 seasons?
Calvin's, because it like gets flooded and it smells like skunks.
That's a different one,
Oh,
but
okay.
it also smells.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say not mine. Definitely not mine. Mine's not mysterious at all. My current basement is well lit.
Oh, okay. The way you said that, I'm like, I've never been there. And the way you're saying it sounds like I shouldn't care, but now I care. It sounds mysterious. Probably
My
not
old
mine.
house, I think, would have been, because you could have heard like the sound of saws or grunting, or like there's all kind of different things you would have heard from coming down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
In my
Probably not mine.
childhood home, we had the wood burning furnace down there. And then you had to go like, 1 a.m., 4 a.m. You would just hear my dad just walk down there, and you just hear just noises, and then heat would blow on you. That was always mysterious.
Yeah.
But now mine's not too mysterious, but it does have a hatch that goes to it.
You got a hatch?
I have a hatch.
I have a hatch.
Like when you say a hatch, like a cellar hatch outside thing?
Oh,
Yeah.
like a John Locke hatch. What do you
Like,
want from me?
The thing, like if you're outside and you're like, a tornado's coming, hurry up, throw it open and get inside.
It's similar to that.
Yeah.
It's like an angled.
Yeah.
Door,
I've
yeah.
never been to a house that actually had one of those, I don't think.
Really?
I don't think so. Like there's been like windows that lead to a basement or something like that, but like that
Sure.
whole like the cellar, you go outside to get into it kind of thing. Like,
That's got these big metal
I have-
heavy doors on mine.
Yeah, I have both. I have an interior entrance and an exterior entrance, which is helpful.
I got a question for you guys.
yeah, what's that?
Which Titan would you like to be? You have to be one. Which one do you pick?
Founder.
The founder?
You want to be a giant fucking slug?
I don't know.
I don't want to be the Rod Reese. Yeah, whatever. What was his name?
It has like all the. It has like control of like tons of stuff, right?
Yeah, but at what cost, Aaron?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You have to be the founding titan with royal blood in order to have control of all that stuff. If you don't have that,
Yeah, and we're just talking about like base titans, right? So like if you're the
Base.
female titan, you can't harden.
Yeah, I would say
Right?
so.
Okay.
That's a question too. When a guy becomes a female Titan, because I feel like the cart Titan doesn't present as female, but it's a female shifter. So
Can the female Titan only be passed to female? Like, can it be passed to a male?
I don't see why not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the one that was never passed, right? Was every other Titan passed on through the series? Like, we never saw the
The
female.
attack. I'm sorry, the armor Titan wasn't.
The armor Titan was never passed on.
No, that was always Rhina.
Even like any history stuff that we saw past things. Like, I'm trying to think if we ever saw.
We've probably seen past versions.
No, not just that. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't feel like we ever saw the female Titan,
Yeah.
Annie getting it or Annie, losing
Passing it on.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember if Armored Titan, if we saw Rhina get the Armored Titan. Because then that gives you that option of like, well, you see someone else have it and getting it passed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Annie, from the whole time, like, she seems to have it. She hardens herself into that cocoon. She escapes and, well, not escapes, but, comes out and stays the female Titan the whole time.
I would say probably the Warhammer Titan.
Warhammer's pretty hard to
Because you can make, like, if you have the imagination and understanding, you can make really cool shit.
That was the one I was thinking of too, but not because of what I could make, but because I could, like, well, I'll put myself over here
Sure.
and just control like a puppet Titan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a great thing. And if you don't realize that, it gives you such an advantage.
It gives you a huge advantage.
Cart Titan, pretty good because you could just be it for so long.
Sure.
Oh, the stamina.
So, like, you could
The
travel
endurance.
so far just as that.
Sure.
Yeah, and the
If
last.
there's a Warhammer Titan, you could make a hang glider. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you have to go somewhere tall then. You have to climb something and then...
Just updrafts. Birds do it.
Yeah, I don't know. They all have some different perks that are nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the Beast Titan would be nice, but it's also going to depend on what beast I am. If I'm a whale and I'm like thousands of miles from the ocean,
Yeah.
I'm going to be upset.
I mean, the Colossal has just so many side effects of just being that big, that hot.
Well, yeah, every time
Yeah.
you turn into it, you destroy everything around you. Right?
I saw something when I was looking stuff up earlier.
do it
It
at the
said, like,
circus.
Armin's Colossal Titan doesn't have ears, so he can't hear the screams.
What? Is that real? Or is
I
that
don't
just
know.
like what someone's
I don't
saying?
know if it's a fan thing or if that was real, but I did see that. It might have
I
been
mean-
on the IMDb trivia.
It's probably like a merciful coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're that big, what does a human scream even sound like to you?
Sure. When you're like at the top of the Empire State Building,
Yeah.
like how tall was he? He was like those walls were tall, you know, and he was peeking over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get, like I said, I think it depends on the situation a little bit. But do I just get this in like everyday life, or am I like a part of like, am I
Everyday
on
life.
like parody?
You go to a party, it's like, hey, so, bam, it's a party trick.
Okay.
So, like, you're going to Professor Oak's and you're picking the Titan.
Yeah, I'll take the Warhammer, I think then.
Warhammer.
Yeah,
I mean, Cart Titan, you got a big family. Cart Titan, to get rid of automobile?
I guess just like, guys, hop on my back.
Hop
Here
on.
we go.
Yeah.
And then I get endurance for a long time too, right? Dang it.
I think Cart Titan might be my pick in a world where, like, there aren't other Titans to fight.
All right, how about which one? Yeah, I get what you mean.
Sure.
Which one aren't you taking? Is it the Colossal Titan?
It's
Is
probably
it-
the Colossal.
You know what
Yeah.
none of us have mentioned?
A jaw
Gotta
Titan.
be.
The Jaw Titan. None
Yeah.
of us have said
Well, I
anything.
don't
yet.
want to be big but look small.
Yeah.
Jaw Titan is huge but looks small. I don't like it.
But it
Like
wouldn't
an
look
agile
small
baby.
if there aren't other Titans.
No, I know.
either.
But, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Jaw Titan can open anything, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Jaw Titan can, it can break
I think the
anything. I
armor
mean, you would
would
be
do
great
it.
for like search and rescue, I guess,
Yeah.
because you can climb anything too.
It's true.
Very agile. You can jump around.
I mean, Car Titan's pretty good at that though too.
Sure, but I mean,
Not quite the same.
not. They
Well,
can't
Cart
like climb the
Titan's-
wall.
Yeah, like Cart Titan's probably big enough that you're probably bringing down the building you're climbing up
Yeah.
in most cases, right?
But you also got that amazing endurance
Yeah.
where you can just go in and out, in and out. Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. I don't know. If there's other Titans I have to fight, I'm probably taking the Attack Titan or Armor Titan though, or
Yeah.
Colossal Titan.
Yeah.
Not Warhammer.
Not for fighting, especially if I'm already aware of the weakness.
Sure.
Like
Well, if they're aware of the weakness, then that would be.
I'm looking for that umbilical cord thing,
Yeah.
or finding where they are, or whatever.
Yeah,
it
but
is.
you have to be the Jaw Titan to crack it.
I'll just take it and steal it and throw it in the ocean because he's not a whale.
Yeah, but he could.
He just sinks slowly to the ground until he has to pop out, and then I'll eat him. And now I have that
mean,
power too.
They could stay in there for as
Perfect.
long as Annie stayed in the crystal that she made.
Yeah, and then he's
right?
not a problem because he's at the bottom of the ocean.
He can sneak away.
No, the longer he waits sinking in that thing, the worse it's going to be when he finally pops out. If you guys want another question, Fate Narukami has an interesting one asking one narrative choice or character choice across the whole show that you guys would change if you had to. Is there any choices at all through the show that you would like, I would change this one? Either A, to see like what the outcome would be, or because you just wanted a different choice there.
Well, my immediate answer, and I wouldn't change much just because I like what we got. And I also don't like to like stand on the shoulders of giants where I'm like, well, you created everything, but let me come in here and act like I did something better by changing one thing.
Sure.
But every time I rewatch, I'm always so sad when Levi Squad dies. Because they're introduced and they're so cool, and then they just get wiped out completely, and I'm always like, oh,
but that's
I want
such-
them. I know. I
That's
wouldn't.
so good.
I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
But every time I watch it, I do that thing where like you're watching, you hope, well, maybe this time for some reason it'll be different.
Yeah, sure.
They won't die terribly. But I don't know why that immediately came to my head. I wouldn't change it, but I'd like to see a version with those characters in there.
If
Just
it was
to walk into an alternate reality and watch that version too.
I think Annie should have died instead of being in the crystal and then coming back. I think that would have been more interesting.
Yeah.
the thing then would have been where the power went, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point, I don't think we were
It would have been
aware,
reborn with someone.
and we wouldn't have known where that power would have gone because there wasn't the information of eat the nape kind of thing, right?
Yeah, the spinal fluid.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen, like if we're looking at like an alternate version, what it looks like. I'd like to have seen Armin not get the Colossal Titan
And Irving does.
and see what see what Irvin's like as the Colossal Titan and what that route looks like, you know, just to see what it was like because he was such a cool character. Like if they had his leadership, what would have been different? Because he wouldn't have had the same look at Eren that Armin had, you know.
Oh yeah,
have
he
stopped-
wouldn't have had that friendship.
Yeah.
Like,
holding
could
him
he
back.
have stopped Aaron more or better?
Yeah, or
you can say
sooner.
maybe not because it was predetermined, but still.
Sure, yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, was there a predetermined thing looking at like, oh, well, this is gonna go to Armin, and this is what the route's gonna be? Like, what if it didn't?
What if it didn't?
So it's just one of those what if
What
kind of things. Like
if?
that would be. I think that would be interesting to see like that direction without Armin in it. What does Mikasa do and Eren do, and how does it affect them? And do we get the same outcome, or do we get an entirely different outcome?
I just always felt like Irvin was so good at strategizing when he didn't have information, as opposed to how effective like Levi is when he does have information. When he knows what to do, Levi's scary. But I personally find Irvin to be so effective when he doesn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that might have been interesting, but I suppose the parody characters were kind of on the offensive towards the beginning of that final season. So it would be interesting to see what he would do differently.
Yeah. On Rick's thing, talking about like Annie dying and it moving someone else, did we ever see anybody ever like? Everyone always just got eaten, right? Or their fluid got passed on. Did we ever see anyone like just spontaneously be born with powers or whatever that route was
No.
going to be? That never happened in it, right?
It was never released into the random cycle thing.
Like I remember them talking about like what would happen, but I don't remember ever seeing it. And that would have been something else too. Like if that was the case, Rick, I think that would have been interesting to see like where does it go and how does it work that way? And would it go to someone like over in Marley? Would it go to someone in Paradis, or like who would get that power?
Because like I wonder how far back ago that would have last happened, right? Because they were so measured in Marley
Yeah.
about that process.
That was such an important thing for them.
Yeah, they counted the time frame. They made sure they had some other people trained and preparing to like take up the mantle and everything. But like
and they
when-
brainwashed them so they wouldn't run away.
And then that baby only gets to be 13 years old, right?
well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, does it go to like a baby?
I think it's like the Avatar.
Like, are they born with that power?
I think so.
And then you just have to eat a baby before it gets passed on, you know? And
I mean, I was super confident when I said it, and now you've shaken me.
I'm not 100% sure. I
don't
feel
know.
like the closest to
think.
that we got was,
I remember it being like the Avatar.
yeah. I feel like the closest we got to that was Ymir, who got like turned into a Titan, right? And then ate, shoot.
Yeah, the third guy, or the fourth person.
Berthold and Reiner's friend, who like we didn't really get a lot of time with. I can't remember his name.
Marco.
Marco?
That's
Like-
not, wait, no, is that right? Yeah, I think you might be right.
And then she ate him and then turned into the Jaw Titan.
Yeah.
But
Marcel. Marco dies in the battle. Marcel is the name, I think.
okay.
Okay.
Um,
Marcel.
but like that's the closest I feel like that we had of something where it didn't go the way it was supposed to, you know? Like that wasn't it being passed on, it just like whoops.
Yeah.
Unless you want to count like I don't know, Aaron's father like
Krisha, what he did.
doing stuff, you know? But
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
the brothers are Marcel and Porco. So you may be mixing the Porco and
Yeah,
Marcel
I
up
think
then.
so.
Zeke would have been the closest time. Yeah, Calvin, did you have anything that you would change, like character decisions or story plots or anything that, like, even if it's a what if scenario or if it's a I didn't like this one, I wish we would have done that instead?
I mean, just for morbid curiosity, it probably would have turned out in the end kind of similar. But what if Zeke convinced Aaron to actually sterilize everybody and actually manage to kill off the Titans in a peaceful way, and then everybody goes back to normal, without trying to genocide the planet.
Sure, I get you.
Just how different it would be, because there would still be a war, obviously. Like there would
Sure.
still be a power struggle. They would still think of them as island devils, even without because they don't have proof
Now that
it
power's
worked.
gone, yeah.
But just if everyone that was anti Marley was on the same side at the end,
I get what you mean. Sure.
I searched this because I'm sure people have been thinking about this question a lot longer than we have.
Sure,
I was,
yeah.
I was searching biggest what if scenarios for Attack on Titan, and this one's funny. What if the Santa Titan that swallowed Eren knew how to chew? He would have gotten all those abilities and turned back into a normal person.
I guess that's true, right? Because he went.
I mean, that's a big one.
He went
Yeah.
in his stomach, right, and just
Yeah.
wasn't chewed up.
He just
He
wasn't
bit
chewed
his
up.
leg off,
Yeah, but not his head.
Yeah.
not his spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, if he'd have ground that up,
And then he
Man.
would have gotten those abilities.
I remember being so confused on how he did that. Like,
I know.
what the
That's
hell?
one of my favorite parts of season 1 is they just eat Eren, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And you believe it too because the world's so dark.
Yeah. I'm like, dang, this is, Game of Thrones kind of, we're killing off like the main character kind of
Yeah.
stuff, like nobody's safe. Yeah, that's a crazy moment there. I like Santa Titan. I don't know, that's funny.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're referring to when you say it.
Yeah, I do too. I just never thought about it. I'm like, oh, Santa Titan, That's a
Yeah.
good name for that.
What if there were different guards the day that Grisha took Faye outside the internment zone? Yeah. He wouldn't have had that motivation to do all the things that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, yeah. That guard and those dogs. I don't even like thinking about it.
All right. Well, it is almost 4. Do we want to journey into talking about the intros a little bit, and then we can come back into some more of the
Okay.
story and characters and different questions and stuff that we have from people? And if you guys have any other questions, I see more and more coming in, like a stretch this minute.
Oh, okay.
But-
Stretch.
We'll stretch and hydrate and switch over to talking about intros and what we enjoyed or didn't enjoy with those. I don't know if it's necessarily like a tier list per se, but I did go through and like listen to all of them.
Okay.
I looked up like AOT intros, and there were 9 of them, and there were some I didn't recognize. And Rick was with me at one point when I was watching one. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
I think there's one that we didn't see.
Like, I've never seen this one. And I watched another one. I'm like, I don't really remember this one. There were 2 of them that I was like, I don't really remember these 2, which was weird. So I kind of put them on the lower end just because I was like, I don't know what these are.
Okay.
But
You just want to start at the beginning and go, or do you want to?
we can,
Anyone do it?
sure. I don't know.
This is your party.
My party. Yeah, we can just start from the beginning, I suppose, with Gurren no Yumiya.
Yeah. Are we listening?
Sure, I said that right. Well, do we have
I would be so hyped if we are.
do we have it where we can listen to a little bit of the first song? Jake, is that possible?
Just like the first.
Give him a second
10
to make
seconds
sure
or
we
so?
have the first intro thing here. We can listen to a little bit. Probably won't listen to the whole song,
No, probably not.
but enough to kind of remind us a little bit of the.
Barry says one of the openings was from a broadcast in Japan that aired the final episode in a 20-minute format, like a normal episode. So instead of
Gotcha.
like watching it all as
Okay. What is this? Is this it?
I hear one of them, and I also hear us.
I don't hear us from me unless I don't have my headphones on.
That might
Hello?
just be me.
I always
Let
hear
see
me,
if
I
have
guess, though,
Twitched
too.
up somewhere.
That's not the first one.
I don't
Here, let me see real quick.
recognize that one.
Where's Twitch? Where's Twitch playing?
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, that
sounds like the
that's
first
like the full intro version.
Chat doesn't hear the song, though? Okay, we're
Okay.
just getting things set up, guys, so we should be good here.
We gotta be careful. We don't want the stream taken down.
Ah! Just give it like 30 seconds or so, maybe?
Yeah.
I'd say like 15.
15?
15? All right. Go ahead and shut it off.
Rick's like, no, we gotta stop. Shut it down. Shut it all down.
Okay. It's just
All right, man.
Just when I hear this song, I wish ODM gear were real. You know?
Yeah.
I want to play Spider-Man 2 or something. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just invites just the epicness.
This one's like one of the top ones for me. Just
Yeah.
because like it starts off and it's just I think too, like I was listening through them all, and I think one of the things that really helps is that the I don't know, the songs that are like the War Machine songs, if that makes sense, like the ones of like soldiers
pigs.
coming,
Yeah.
they have more of that chanting or
The march
or marching or
cadence,
yeah,
kind of.
like it just has
Yeah.
that kind of feel of like this is about a fight, you know. I think those ones hit a little bit more for this show for me, and this one here just starts off really good. I love the da 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 da.
Yeah.
I think this
So, like,
one's my
alright.
number 4 overall.
Really?
Yep.
Number 4.
No, I really like it. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
There's 3 I like better.
3 you like better.
Interesting.
Okay.
So you rank them in order and not like as a letter grade?
I mean, I can rank them however you want.
No, I was just curious how you were having that. Like, if that's your 4, does that mean there? I mean, you said that there are 3 that are better than it, but
Yeah, so that's my 4 of 8, or
Okay.
however many there are.
I have a listed of 9,
I ranked 7.
but I only knew like I think 7 of them
Yeah,
maybe.
I only recognized 7 of them.
I'm trying to remember. We only watched it once. I don't remember what the final thing was, like song wise. I don't remember what it was, or if there was one. Like, was there an intro for
Well,
the?
that's the one I think we didn't see because it was like a special.
I have
Is that
two.
the one that was the
I saying,
special,
I have 2
or-
that I don't remember.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember if we watched one in the intro of the last thing. But all right. Do we want to give a grade, or do you just want to say where we rank it?
I'm
I
comfortable
have-
with any standard you want.
All right.
Yeah.
I have
'Cause
mine in a grade.
Don't like to rank things.
All right. Well, I can just change my
And
grades.
also, are we only judging the music, or are we judging the visuals, like the OP as a whole, or just the music?
You can judge the visuals if you wish, if that goes into your ranking of them.
It definitely does.
Okay.
I mean,
I
like,
kind of did too, but I focused more on the music
Mhm.
than the intro visuals.
okay. I mean, I guess we can go to the second one and talk about it a little bit, and then we can kind of wrap up with like where we rank everything, I suppose. I gave all mine letters, but I could easily swap them into like the order that I prefer them.
Sure.
You
If
know what I
I'm
mean?
putting it as a letter, I think I'd put it as an A.
Okay.
I put it as an S.
I have it at S as well.
I don't want to just have all of mine be S's.
They can't all be S's.
You can't tell me what to do.
That's not how it works.
Anarchy!
One has to
You
be higher
can't-
than the other.
You can't love all of them equally, Eric.
Yeah, I can.
No, they're not your children.
I easily can. I
You didn't-
actively do.
And
You
that's just
didn't enjoy all of them equally while we were watching the show.
Don't tell me what I can't do.
I'm just I'm reminding you your words when we were watching it.
Letter grade. Okay, I'll put an A. I have an
A.
S over it.
Ooh.
Okay.
So AASS.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go to the second intro. If Jake's good, we can play a little bit of that, which I believe is Jiyu no Tsubasa.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you guys talking? I'm not talking.
No, I haven't talked for a bit.
No, they just got to watch you guys rock out.
All right. So, what do you guys think of this one?
I enjoy this one. It's not in my top half. I have it right in the middle of my rankings. It's a good song and stirring visuals always. It's Attack on Titan, but it doesn't grab me and make me excited to watch the show so much. Not like a couple of other songs that just as soon as I hear the first note, I am hype, I'm torqued, I'm 100 ready to watch this episode.
I just knocked it down a later grade because you said 100.
I like how it evolves as it goes too.
Yeah.
The very beginning is very different from where it goes. You know, kind of comes in and out.
Yeah, it's tough for me because even ranking on a letter grade, I don't think I could put anything below a C.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're all so good. It probably goes as a B for me. I think I like some of the visuals more than I like the music. Like the Raining of the Blood, and that one is just so good. I think I disliked it a lot more when I first heard it because I loved the first one so much.
Yeah.
And then I heard that one and I was like, what is this?
It's a heavy
What's
point
this
against
bullshit?
it. They had to follow up that.
And the beginning feels like it's trying to go for that same kind of feeling, but it doesn't hit it for me.
It tries to get here, but it only gets here, you know?
Yeah. Because it has that. I mean, it has that kind of military, like you're doing an anthem or a pledge or an
Well, it has,
alma mater.
Yeah, but it's it almost feels like it's propaganda or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
You know, it's trying to get you, but then the real thing comes in. So I get you.
I guess so.
It's like hearing it now, I like it a
I
lot
understand
more
more.
than I did when I first heard it.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a B for me. on that
Also
one.
B.
I have it as a C.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Calvin.
As we were listening,
as
we were listening to it, I took it from a C to a B.
Yeah.
Just you know what? This sounds better than
I did consider it, but I have to stay true to my initial ranking. 'Cause otherwise, this whole list is going to get fucked up, and I'm going to just knee-jerk switch it every time.
All right.
I wasn't ranking these intros against other intros. I was only ranking them against each other.
Yeah, me too.
So some of my rankings go lower, but if I were to put all of these against some, say, Naruto intros, they would be much higher.
All right. Well, let's listen to the third intro then.
Sure. We're not hearing it yet, are we?
I don't.
Okay, good.
This one has one of the best singular moments in it.
One of the best what?
You know what it is, right?
The what? What is?
Are you talking about audibly or visually?
Audibly.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, yeah.
I love this part.
Yeah, Sasage-yo. For sure.
Ugh.
Like Sasagio just brings it up its own tier.
Yes.
But doesn't this one have a whale?
It does have a whale.
I gave this one an A. I feel like it's just below. When Rick's talking about like there's a few of them that are above it, I have one other that I think's above this one.
Yeah.
The first one is one of them, and then one other one that we haven't gotten to yet that I think's better than this one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so-
I just put it at an A for me. I think it's really good.
Yeah, so this one's my second favorite of all of them.
I know. Pause it.
Pause, Jake.
No.
So this one's my second favorite of all of them. It's still S tier for me, even though I don't like the visuals as much, but the song is just so good.
See, the visuals brought it down for me a letter grade. It's a B for me. It would have been an A just based on the song.
What's wrong with
But
the visuals?
Just
Well,
I don't
so
know. It just doesn't.
so my taste when it comes to anime openings is like if I took away the credits and if I took away the music, I wouldn't want to mistake it for me watching the show, if that makes sense. Like I want there to be a little more like artistry or like I don't know how to say it, but like
Batman the Animated Series.
Sure.
Like that intro is a piece of art, and then it's like the rest of the show is trying to capture that art. Is that what you kind of mean?
kind of yeah.
Like most of the Naruto ones, typically, like if you look at what is it, Munani Rocks?
Yeah.
Like nothing in that one. It captures, I guess, the essence of the show without showing you anything from the show.
Sure.
Is that kind of what you mean?
Kind of yeah. So
It's
like
like all the friends dancing in that fountain, but they never dance in the fountain in the show.
yeah. It's kind of like that where like I love a Cowboy Bebop that like gives me the flavor of the show without actually showing me the show,
Sure.
right?
But this had dinosaurs and whales that never appeared in the show.
It does.
And a polar bear eating a caribou.
Caribou.
Yeah, if you just like go through it, it's just a fucking T-Rex fighting a Spinosaurus.
I
And
think
see
the-
that shit in the show.
I think the thing for me is it's like someone described what anime intros are like, and then someone threw one together having no idea what Attack on Titan was about, kind of, but just having like pictures. Like just throw some weird shit in there that looks epic. Like have them all like running in a line, like have whales flying through the air and have a crocodile and a beast titan running next to each other. Like that's kind of the feeling that it gave me.
Dude, if that were true, they nailed it first try. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying they got they got some of these Titan shots really good.
But the song is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
The song is really good. I do like the song a lot. I'm kind of like looking at the visuals a little bit now.
Baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Mikasa going
I
to
think
the,
it's
oh,
for
oh,
me.
Go
I think
Mikasa! Oh, throw him! Oh.
I think for me, regardless of the letter grade kind of thing, I put
Yeah.
it like third on my list of the intros, and I have one more that I'm waiting for that I think is higher for me.
It's fourth out of my intros.
Fourth. All right. Do we want to go on to 4 then?
Sure.
Wait, that was number 3, right?
That was opening 3. The next one's opening 4, which is called Red Swan.
Red Swan.
Yeah. That's good.
This one's so much softer.
It's sung so
Yeah.
well, too. This guy's really
Yeah.
talented.
Sure.
But this one is like the antithesis of the other ones.
It
right,
is.
So far. Like, this is like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what you're fighting for. And this is what you can't lose. And I love that moment when Aaron's like, little Aaron's like banging on the chest of
Yeah.
taller Aaron, you know? Oh, hits me.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff about this one, for sure.
I think I would like this more as, and we're not talking about the outros in this or anything too, but I think I like it more as like an outro.
Yeah, I agree.
But as far as for a start, especially like I said before, I really like the idea of how they capture like that military fight war feeling that a lot of this
Sure.
is themed kind of around, you know,
Yeah.
freedom and what we're fighting for and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Sure.
I get what you mean where like this is what we're fighting for,
Yeah.
but the
Well,
other ones give me a little bit more of a hype feel, I think, for what we're getting into and the
Yeah.
the crazy mystery and all
I
that
get
kind of
what you
I
stuff.
feel like
I mean,
this
it's-
song works better as an outro than an intro. You know what I mean? Because it just it calms me down. It relaxes me. Like the intro visuals and stuff, they don't like evoke the feeling that the show gives me so much. It's like, I don't know. I think just it feels like an outro to me is the best way I can describe that. I don't like it as an intro. I love the song. It's a beautiful song, but
Sure.
I don't like it in where it is, you know? I would appreciate it more somewhere else, I think.
Yeah, I
what
get
I'm
what you
trying
mean.
to say.
For me, I think this one fits. Like I don't the 8, which I think is the one that we didn't see. That was the one that was released for after the premiere in Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
And then 9 on the list, I don't really remember either. Those 2 I put at the bottom just because I'm like I'm not sure exactly where these fit with some things. This one out of the ones I really feel like I know, I have at the bottom. Just because I like the other ones and how they set me up for the episode more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't like the song. It's just like what I'm getting into. I feel like the other ones have like that feeling that I'm looking for with what the show's doing.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
me, I think it's the one that has improved the most since watching the whole show. Like seeing these characters this way and knowing what they're going to endure later. I don't know. There's just something innocent about it. Like it's hard. I mean, it's hard to compare all of these anyway because
Sure.
like this one especially isn't, I don't think, meant to be compared to the others in terms of like what they're supposed to be doing to you.
Sure, because this would have been season the end of season 2
End
or
of season 2, I
end of
think?
season 3 maybe.
Yeah.
It's probably end of season 3.
I'm trying to remember
Season 3.
because they split them up
Right.
a lot, and I'm trying to remember which ones are which. But
just, you know, like the tying of these main 3 characters as children to them being soldiers now, and then when you add in all the heartbreak and destruction that will happen later, like here you get this momentarily like breath of fresh air before things go bad. I don't know. It's become really sad, as before I found it really beautiful,
sure.
and I really like that. I like when art can change like that.
So where do you put this one as far as with the other shows then?
I mean, I put so much value on hype. I know that I probably shouldn't, but Attack on Titan intros, when I think of them, I think that way. So I'll probably just throw this in a B. But that doesn't change how much I enjoy it.
Sure.
Ranking never will.
Yeah. No, I put it at a D.
Okay. I mean, that does change.
But I
put it
didn't,
at an
That's
E,
that's
Eric.
yours.
I didn't put anything
That's
below
yours.
a D
Yeah.
Yeah.
with AOT stuff in general. Just listing these songs individually.
Yeah.
But like that's why I said like I like all these songs, I think, but this is probably my least favorite of the intros that we got.
Red Swan is a C for me. But I don't think it's a bad opening by any means.
Sure. All right. Want to go to 5, which is Shuke to Shikabane no Michi. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think the visuals in this one are really cool.
Oh yeah.
I like that they have like the first intro like that feel, that beat into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just done really well. I really like it.
Mm.
Where do you guys sit with the song itself?
I mean, it's interesting watching them like back to back to back like this too, because I mean you're forced to compare. This one to me has the feeling of like people didn't like the last one, do more like the first ones, and it doesn't achieve as much.
Sure.
But that's an assumption that I base off nothing.
Yeah.
But the visuals are cool.
They are. Like Chat says though too. Like I like the visuals now.
Yeah.
But watching the show, this one has a lot more in it that is like more specific to the show itself.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly where watching this one versus what all we knew at the time.
Yeah.
Did
Like
we?
so
I
it
like
can be
that it ends
it
on
can
the
be
cellar.
very spoilery, you know.
Did we
Yeah, I get you.
black out the screen during the intro and just hear the music?
It's possible. We've
'Cause I-
done that sometimes
when
with
I
some stuff.
when I
where it's
watched
like,
back, like ranking these, and I was watching the intro, I didn't recognize a lot of the shots, like in the intro editing, like I do with the others, like the whales and that kind
I
of stuff.
think
you know?
I don't think we did maybe for this one, but we might have. Sometimes we do that with some of the more recent things and stuff too, but I don't know
Yeah.
if we had that back then. Because I remember a lot of the visuals in this one. I remember the what is it, Rhina and Berthold like back to back, like
Mm-hmm.
like I remember that
Yeah.
visual and stuff like that too. So,
Like I like a lot of the like blue-green color grading it has, and it has this kind of like rainbow splotch effect with all the credits. I think that stuff's cool. But yeah, to me, it just kind of seems like they're trying to recapture some magic,
sure.
and that's never gonna be as good as just having magic unfold in front of you.
I like the feel of it. Like I think it has that similar like cadence of the
Yeah.
first one, which is one of the things I kind of like about it. But it doesn't hit the same high for me.
Mm-hmm.
So like this one is probably like 4th on my list. Actually, it might be 5th on my list.
Oh.
This one for us, we did see the visuals for this one
Yeah.
because it had the Colossal Titan into Armin shot
Yeah.
that we speculated about.
Armin like wakes up out of the colossal titan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
her
true.
being like, let's just not talk about that for anybody that hasn't noticed.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so that, I mean, I hate when intros do that.
Uh-huh.
But like lots of times for some anime stuff, I just try not to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the song itself. And I think retroactively the visuals are really cool. But yeah, if you're watching for the first time, you're like, wait a minute, what's this? I love when it's abstract enough that you can piece together what something means in the intro versus it just being like, that's not abstract enough. And now I have a theory that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
Because like there's sometimes where like that isn't necessarily something you're going to be like, oh, that's who this is or anything. It needs to be a thing where like that's where it's going. You shouldn't be showing that, you know?
Agreed.
Sure.
This is my lowest ranked one so far. This is D, because I try to take spoilers seriously, and yeah, I know anime sometimes doesn't care, you know, especially Japanese audiences, but I do, and anything that spoils in the intro loses a letter grade, and I already didn't love the song as much as I did the first ones.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in line with Eric, including the tier ranking for this one.
I definitely like this song more.
Because, like, well, when I listen to this song, and I have almost all these songs on my workout playlist, except this one, because when I hear this one, I just want to listen to Sasagio instead.
100%. 100%.
No.
He's right.
I get what you
He's right.
mean.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is. I think I have it ranked 6th. It's at D as well, Eric.
You know what? Yeah, I think I make it dang. I think I like Red Swan better though.
Yeah.
Well, change
You know
your
what?
Red
Yeah.
Swan.
Are
to
you
C,
changing
put
your
that in D.
rankings while you're?
Yeah, I mean,
Talking about
like
them
a
and
lot of
stuff?
this was like me kind of like in the moment, just like listening to them. What do I think of them and stuff too? But now like kind of talking, and also like I didn't necessarily take visuals into my consideration. It was more so me just listening to the songs. I'd probably put this below Red Swan where I had that listed. So yeah, I'll make Red Swan C, and I'll make this one a D. What?
No.
So now this one's on the bottom. But are you guys ready to go to 6?
Oh, I'm ready.
I am
yes.
so ready.
Let's go to 6, My War.
Holy, it's a couple seconds in. It's so good.
So good.
Oh, this one's really polarizing in the chat.
Yeah.
It's either everyone's favorite or their least favorite.
It's really easy for me to separate the visuals and the audio in this one. Like, the visuals for me are an S and the audio's an A. Like, they're both really good, but I can think of this one in my mind's eye so easy.
Yeah. No, for me, this one it's my favorite opening of Attack on Titan. The visuals and the audio are my favorite of all of them.
This one and the first one are at the top of my list.
Yeah.
I think this one captures what I want about the war kind of feel like the first one kind of has with there too. I love the raindrop thing, like ding 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 ding. Like I love that moment there. The visuals I think really match like how I mean this is like in the final season, right? So like things are really getting into war, you know.
This is the Marley
Go ahead and pause,
season with the child soldiers
Yeah.
and a lot of the same feeling of like children singing it rather than adults is what it felt like. Drawing back to just how brutal and terrible and fighting in the mud.
Yeah.
It's my third favorite intro of Attack on Titan, just because it makes you feel like hype, but also it makes you feel wrong for feeling hype because of the subject matter.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like that. I was like, yeah, these kids are gonna kick their ass, but also they shouldn't be fighting wars.
Sure, yeah. And I think visually too, it's more on the abstract side too, right?
Yep.
It's like showing war and getting you in that feeling of what's going on without just like showing you things that are happening or gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I go ahead.
No, I was gonna say out of the songs and stuff of the intros, I only had two that I was like, this is an S. It was this one and the first song.
Gotcha.
That were my like top two favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the last two shots of the intro where it's like implying that the Attack on Titan like gotten to this point because of all those corpses, and like it's sort of paved the road for him.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, and the feeling of like this is a more modern war now. It's less about like, oh yeah, you can volunteer for the scouts and you can have this honorable position. It's like, no, you're 12 and you're being conscripted.
Sure.
You're being forced into war because you're a lower class citizen.
Yeah. No, I love this one. I think I'm biased to the very first one, so I may put that one above it just because it was the first one. But
yeah, I mean, I'm
this
definitely
is
biased.
This
to the
is one or
first
two,
Yeah.
All right. Well then, anything else on it? You want to go to 7 then?
Yeah. 7.
Oh, 7.
7.
Let's go to 7.
7. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Tough because I'm not supposed to work out today.
This one is a pretty good song.
I love the song. I love the visuals.
I love what it does. The first time you hear it, you're like, all right, let's start watching Attack on Titan, see what they have in store for us.
Yeah.
And then just bam, you're in Aaron's mind. And it's scary. And it
Sure.
changes you, and you'll never be the same.
Yeah.
I like it. I love the beat. I'm not usually a big fan of kind of like the screamy type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think it's done really well, and I like it a lot. The visuals are not as abstract as the last one.
Yeah.
Which is why I really like the last one a lot more too. This one has like a lot of spoilers and stuff into it.
It does.
which
Got it.
is too bad.
Look at it.
So I don't know.
I like it so much I don't care.
Yeah, you got it. You want it to be worse?
What-
You want it to be
No,
worse?
I'm kidding. I get it. I'm just too hyped for it.
Yeah.
It just, for me, like stuff like this changes my life. I will never ever hear the word rumbling ever again
It's true.
and
Yeah.
not go in my head rumbling. Never again.
Sure.
I will die
Sure.
doing that. And
Yeah.
that's special. That's an S. That's why you have S's. I
Does
feel
it
like.
mean it's an A then
No, it's an S.
because of the spoilers?
No,
Didn't you drop a thing because of spoilers?
I did, but
did
I'm
for
completely
that song.
abandoning my principles, which is why this is an S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
defies
also-
logic.
Well, and for me, like this spoiled less for me.
Yeah.
Because I expected the rumbling to come,
Sure.
and I expected Annie to be free. Like the things that this shows, I kind of expected to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas I did not expect Armin to become the Colossal Titan.
Sure.
And I also
Like,
feel like every time I watch it,
Before
Okay.
before this season, you already know that Annie is still trapped in the crystal egg, and you know that there are colossal titans in the wall, right?
Yeah.
So like those things, since they've been brought up, they feel like an inevitability. It doesn't feel as big of a spoiler.
Well, I guess true. Like you know, Annie is the Titan, so when you see the female Titan, you're like, oh, well, I know who that is. Maybe she shows up. Maybe they're just using it for like visual.
Sure.
But it's not like, oh, well, here's Historia as a female Titan.
Yeah.
And you're
no.
like, wait, what? Why is she the female Titan?
Yeah.
Well, I guess she's gonna be the next one, you know,
Sure.
or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly way bigger fans of metal than me, but I've always appreciated metal for being such a unique avenue, genre in the musical world because, like, it's, if music and art is about, trying to transmit feelings from one person to another, like this one, it's like getting hit with a freight train in art. Like we've been hearing about the rumbling, and you keep thinking, like, well, what's that going to be like? What's going to be like? And then it doesn't matter. If you've thought about it a lot, you're not ready.
Sure.
And that's what this song does for me.
I think in chat was talking about too, like this was I think the first one that we hid spoilers so we wouldn't be spoiled
Was
on
it?
things.
Okay.
So that also helps us too, where like we're not seeing what was going to be coming,
Yeah.
but
No,
we're
I-
able to just enjoy the song.
I'm pretty sure I watched this before the season came out. So I think I saw the spoilered version.
Gotcha.
Well, why the hell are you doing that?
Have you heard
Hey,
it?
I'll say this too. Like, and I just did it. I did it today. Like, I don't think I've ever watched every frame of this intro.
I mean, we may
Every
not
time
have,
I
right?
watch, it takes over my body and I look away. That's how
Oh,
good
what?
it is.
You got to bang your head.
Yeah, you have to. I can't not move my arms.
Yeah.
I can't not feel it in my back. It's my favorite thing about music is that it can just take you over sometimes. Like you must dance or you must flail. It has to happen.
Yeah.
And this one does it in such a unique way that none of the other openings do. My least favorite thing so far is the one that like, you're trying to recapture magic. This one's like, fuck magic. The world's ending.
Yeah. For me, I have this at like 4. It's an A,
Gotcha.
but I like intro 1. I like My War better.
Mhm.
And I like Sasageo.
Sasageo.
Sasagio.
Sasagio, that's what it is. I like that one better too.
Man, I'm trying to remember how I ranked them now. If I said 3 or 4 before, this one is the other one of those. So it's either my number 3 or my number 4.
Okay.
But yeah, and I don't know whether to rank it S or A. Like it's
Well, it's an easy S for me. It's sharing the spot with OP1.
so yeah, no. This will be my number 3, and man,
I also love it too because it has this connective bond with other Attack on Titan fans that you can get excited with one word.
yeah,
Like sometimes, when you don't know somebody as well, but you can be like, hey, I like this show. And they go, oh, I like this show. And you can connect. But if you are out there and a stranger is sitting beside you and you hear the word rumbling and you both in your head are like, rumbling, and you look at the other person like, oh, we might be best friends. And and that happened in one word.
So rumbling is this show's Kamehameha.
It might be. It might be. I always remember Michael Leslie. You guys remember
Yep.
Michael? We were in Athens. I had never met him before. We were in Athens, and a guy walked by, and he looks at me and he goes, "That guy looks just like Master Roshi." And I go, because we had never talked about Dragon Ball before. And I'm like, he does. And then we were friends.
I think I rated an A, but it's a high A.
Sure.
It could easily be an S.
I
You
think
could
this-
just put it there.
I think if I was just looking, if we're talking about visuals and stuff, I'd definitely make it an A. If
Yeah.
I'm talking about just the song, it might be an S.
Gotcha.
For the next one, I don't know which one you have, Jake. If it's the one I have, the next one actually is gonna go into Under the Tree, which is opening 8, which is the special one. That
Under
we
the
would have
Tree?
that we would have never actually heard.
That is the
I
next
don't
one I
think I've
have. Do
ever
you want to
heard
skip it or do you want to listen to it?
We can listen to some of it and see what it sounds like. I don't know if everyone's heard it before here.
I listened to it upstairs.
I never heard it.
About an hour ago, but I don't. Not an hour ago.
Like this
2
one
hours
might
ago.
not hit high
But
just
I
because
didn't
we don't
recognize it.
have that extra connection from
Yeah.
watching it and everything.
It's
But
classified as an opening sometimes, people say. But I guess you could maybe call it an ending.
But sometimes they put the openings and the endings.
That's true.
That's true, especially at the end
or at the beginning.
or at the beginning.
More normally at the beginning.
Well, this will be my first time hearing it.
All right, well let's just check this one out real quick.
Where are you at? Where have you been? 問いかけに答えはなく Where are we headed? What did
Ooh.
This one's definitely much more specific, you know?
Yeah. And like they didn't make any new visuals for this. This is all just stuff from the show, right?
I believe so, yeah. But I mean, if the idea was that it was sometimes an ending, sometimes an opening, like that kind of makes more sense, I guess, too, of seeing like things for a special.
Chess says same artist as the Rumbling,
Oh, really?
which like Link Horizon, so good.
I think it's a pretty interesting song. I don't have the connection to it from listening to it like during, you know?
Mm.
And if you're looking at visual wise, like it just covers exactly what happens in the show, basically,
Yeah.
you know? Like you see a lot of things in it, but
Like this is early YouTube, like a dude cutting
sure.
yeah, Dragon
Yeah.
Ball to Linkin Park or whatever.
Yeah, you're
dude.
right.
Linkin Park so much. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, the song's not my favorite. It
I think
doesn't
the
seem-
lyrics are pretty good, though.
I think
yeah.
the lyrics
I
and
like-
the song are
I
really
like the
good.
lyrics for it, and I like the music and everything
Yeah.
for it. It doesn't hit the same as a lot of the other songs
I like
do.
the way that, especially in the beginning, like history was flashing in
Yeah.
on the current events. But, and this is like 4.5 minutes. This one that I'm watching.
The one I watched was 2 minutes.
Okay, I must be watching like an extended
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like 2 minutes long or
It
so.
had official in the title, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
No, I don't know. I'm just gonna put this one kind of in an average point, like C, for me. Like I might not rank it with the rest. I kind of put this one at the bottom of all the other ones, just so that I could actually rank the ones that like I've really watched and seen. And
Yeah, as
spent
opposed to
time with.
like OP5 that I felt like was trying to do something that had been done before. This one's different.
it feels different.
It definitely
sure.
feels different. It doesn't have like the rage and complete fear that Rumbling gives,
Sure.
but it definitely has like a bunch of heaviness.
It has that.
It's just a little on the nose for me, maybe.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say C.
I saw someone in chat. Who was it? The Bird where Rumbling covers more of Aaron's perspective,
Yeah.
whereas this one covers more of a Mikasa perspective.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think that's kind of interesting way of like
Yeah.
kind of looking at it, right? Like what they're going through and seeing. Like you said, right? The Rumbling is like, you're in Aaron's head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
This one, like now you're kind of in Mikasa's, who's like struggling, and it has that kind of depressed sound to it too, of like, what am I supposed to be doing? Whereas Rumbling is just kind of like,
Sure.
here I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably rank this as a B. I enjoyed it quite
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
nice song.
I put it in a B for me, and the visuals bring it down a lot because I like that song quite a bit.
All right. There's only one more then for opening 9. The Last Titan. So let's do that one.
Okay. It's a clip show. Ooh,
Like, I don't remember this one.
I like his voice.
Oh, this is Link to Horizon again.
Oh, that's really cool. I really like the split half and half kind of
Yeah.
look to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it goes through a lot of stuff in this one. Oh, that's a cool transition too. Sorry, you guys, you don't just see a whole lot, but we're kind of just like revisiting. Getting
Yeah, I'm
to see
taking
a
it.
little bit
I
some here
also
and there,
haven't really seen this one. I feel like.
Chat says they just released this.
Yeah. Okay.
too. This one just released.
Well,
Interesting.
it wasn't part of the show.
That makes more sense then.
Yeah.
I wonder why they count as an opening then.
I don't know. Feels like it's missing something for me. Oh, I like that though. The last shot was good.
There's some really cool like
Yeah.
visuals in
Yeah,
that
I
one.
like the
Oh, there
visuals.
is. There's really cool.
I'd like that one as like a like what'd you say about the last one, Rick?
Yeah.
Was like someone's taking like, let's take everything I have from AOT and let's just make like, it's almost
Yeah.
like you said, Eric, it's almost like a clip show. Like,
Yeah.
let's take this song and get that feeling of the whole show and like all the footprints,
It's like a super cut
yeah, kind of.
of like the biggest and exciting moments and stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like that. I mean, it doesn't hit as high for me, but
Chat says it was used for the Japanese version as an opening.
okay, so that's why.
Interesting.
But no, I just put 9 and 8 Under the Tree and The Last Titan kind of at the bottom of my list, just because like they're not quite there for openings for me, and I don't know them as well. And all the other ones I have is like I actually like ranked these ones. But
Yeah, I quite like it, but I think it's probably C for me.
See,
I think
I agree.
I
Yeah.
think it's probably a C or a D for me as well.
I put Under the Tree and Last Titan both as C's. I think they're both right there in the middle.
Yeah.
They're interesting.
But for a show that's had as many openings as this one have, for like all of them to be good and oftentimes different ways, I think is a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of these, like, if I was just comparing a lot of anime openings and stuff, I'd probably have a lot of these ones on the higher end.
Oh yeah.
You know, like there's good quality in a lot of them. Even if you just look at just the songs, I think there's like just good quality in all the songs too.
Because like I like all of Ruby's openings, but it's all the same artist.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
So they're
this-
gonna have that kind of similar feel and stuff.
Yeah. Whereas this like has a lot of the same artist, but it also mixes it up some, and
Yeah.
even when it does mix it up, I still think it fits the show and it's very good.
My list probably goes 1, 6, 3, 7, 2, 4, 5. If anyone did that, I was writing mine down as I went, so it was easy for me to have that list.
Yeah, my were Sasagio, Rumbling, and then the first one
Yeah.
is my top 4.
Didn't you only name 3?
I think he meant 6 too. OP6.
I said
which ones?
my were
My war.
My war. Okay.
is the
I
first
thought
one.
you said mine were.
Oh, no, no,
Okay,
no.
my bad.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's where I missed
heard
one.
4.
Yes.
Okay, that's where I missed
Which
one.
one didn't you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. OP1, OP7, OP6, and OP3 are probably my top 4.
Yeah, those are all my top 4.
Yeah.
I think they're all real good ones.
I have 1, 6, and 7 in S, and I have 3 in A.
Yeah.
Everything else is under that.
So 1, 6, 3, and 7. So
Yeah. I mean, 3 has my. I actually like the Sasagio moment more than I do in any one moment in OP1.
Mhm.
But OP1 is like I will listen to that to an entire set at working out.
Yeah.
Whereas Sasagio, like I have to like go back.
I understand.
no, I need this part. This part here.
Yeah,
But
this part-
Sasagio also has the blood.
Yeah.
So
But
good.
if I have to pick one, I might just go rumbling, just like I said, because it has that element of like I'll never be the same.
Sure. All right. Well, guys, that's our thoughts on intros and stuff.
Yeah.
We get asked that a lot. We probably won't have time to go through the endings.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people kind of wanted those too,
I
but
didn't rank those.
yeah, we
Those
don't
are going to be a struggle.
we don't have time for those.
That's when we talk about full length and don't want to be spoiled by previews. I don't
Yeah.
watch those as much.
I can try to go through some of the questions that have come through.
Yeah,
And we
questions.
can try to hit those up in our last like 15 minutes or so.
Mhm.
Unless anyone has anything else that they wanted to bring up or anything about AOT.
I mean, I got stuff, but I would rather have their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you haven't watched the ranking podcast, it's S tier. Absolutely. Attack on Titan.
Let's see here. Dzonix says, "Did you guys check out any memorable scenes in the sub?"
Yes.
I know
I did.
sometimes we talked about like watching an anime and then like, well, what's a sub one look like or sound like in this
Yeah.
one? I did not. Which ones did you guys?
I
watched the
main
entire
thing that
first
I always
season
heard
and-
was like the Titan and Scream in this one sucks. The one in the sub is better, and I think the one in the sub is better. But I was never like this one sucks because I never compared it first.
Sure.
I was just like, oh, okay, that's what a Titan sounds like. And then
Sure.
I heard that one, I'm like, oh, okay, that's also what a Titan can sound like. But for me, it was always the Irvin speech. Is the most important one to compare, and both of those actors
Bring it.
kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it in each of their languages.
Now I watched the Irvin speech. I watched the fireside talk.
Yep.
Between the warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I like went back and watched a few things of both.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I-
not.
like the dub is still where it's at for me.
You know, I'm not super precious when it comes to like only this actor can do this job. You know, Hamlet will always be recast. The Hulk will always be a different person. The Phantom will always be a different actor. You know, so I have room in my heart for a lot of people. As long as they're nailing what this character is supposed to nail, I'm cool with it. But there is something special about the first thing that you hear.
Sure.
The first one you hear, they all, you know, like Sean Shane will always be my Goku, even though I've heard all awesome Gokus. But what Irvin does for me is that I can understand every part of that performance. Whereas in the Japanese, I personally don't have the context to understand every part of the performance. I can say he seems angry or, you know, this person seems sad, but I can't get into like, you know, the nitty gritty choices an actor makes when they have lines like that.
Sure.
When
Not
I
as-
don't
not as
understand the
easily.
language. And I personally don't like to just read it either, you know, because I bring a lot of that to myself. I want an actor to do it for me. So sub it can't hit the same peak as it can for dub for me. But that's not to say it's not true for the opposite isn't true for anybody else.
Sure.
Especially if it's something that you watch for the first time. That's a special moment. I value a first time reaction more than any other rewatch personally when it comes to these type of things.
Calvin, you said you watched the whole first season in sub,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I did. I
Did-
watched it.
Did you then go and rewatch it in dub?
I didn't rewatch it in dub. I was quite comfortable at that time watching anime just by myself in the sub. So
Sure. Was it jarring going to like?
because it was such a long break between me watching that and then many years later you guys reacting to it and then me joining in later
Yeah.
with the reactions, it wasn't like a shock for me.
Okay.
But I did go back when I was like rewatching it and catching up to to viewing the reactions and stuff. I did watch it in the sub again, and it was a little bit jarring then.
Okay.
So I would, depending on the episode, I would switch back and forth, just to see like specific moments that I was looking forward to, and like I've already seen this once, it was great, but maybe see it this way too.
Sure.
And I enjoyed it both ways.
And I don't know about you, Calvin. I don't know if you've rewatched it since, but ever since hearing Bryce's performance as Inosuke in Demon Slayer, I just am more of a fan of him. Thus, I like his performance in early Attack on Titan more.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Such a different role.
It feels like a Western world, so hearing English just feels more right.
Sure, I get you.
To me.
I get you.
All right. There's a lot of questions, so I'm trying to go through and pick some from different people and stuff too. Semblance of Sanity sent one in.
Hey.
What's up, Semblance of Sanity?
Welcome.
This is a fun question. What was one of your favorite moments of foreshadowing that you noticed in retrospect? Trying to think if I know of any foreshadowing, because I haven't gone back and rewatched like everything after knowing like everything that's going on. I mean, Eric talking about it, I love the idea of like if the female Titan's coming and it's like, put your hoods up so they don't know who it is, and Rhina's one who puts their hood down.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing that I didn't notice when I first watched it. But like if you're watching it with that information, you're like, oh, cool. Like he's letting her know so she sees there he is, don't step on him.
Yeah.
That's I like that. That's a really nice one.
I think I'm not exact because it's been many years since I've watched it and then watched it again. There was a scene when they first got to the training camp, the cadets, and Rhina and Bertolt, I believe, took Aaron like away from the camp, away from like the watch tower or something like that, and they had a conversation with him, and like Bertolt was standing behind Aaron, and they were like talking to him about like, you know, what are your beliefs and why did you become a soldier kind of thing. It felt like after you realized who they were and what their mission was there, it felt like they were either going to try and recruit him or kill him if he was enough of a threat there. I really like that scene. In retrospect, what those characters were thinking and how, like, it kind of explains why, I think, why Bertolt was so nervous there. And their other, like, future interactions in the camp and stuff as well.
Okay. Is there anything either of you guys have or anything?
I'm looking through some of the ones that I'm seeing here because I just can't recall all of them or anything, so I'm trying to pick like a favorite. But I mean, a lot of it's just kind of like small little details, like well, is it one of the outros that has like a bunch of like weird evocative like not cave paintings, but like paintings, like Renaissance paintings, and you're like, oh, this is really interesting stuff.
I really like that. That was season 2.
Yeah, that was season 2.
Yeah,
and it turns out like, oh no, like the 3 children and the eating and all that stuff. Like, oh no, that actually happened, and they gave you that in season 2. I remember us talking about that during the show, so that was probably my favorite.
I don't know if it counts as foreshadowing, but Mika's headaches.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And like knowing what those are after you finish. But I don't know if that counts as foreshadowing.
Okay.
Heard the Bird had another good one. Ymir was able to read Marley and canned food very early in the show. I was like, what was that? That was weird. And then move on. And then it comes back in a big way.
Slotinchive? I'm sure I said that right. You guys should check out Ending 3. It had things in it that even spoiled the manga readers at the time.
Really?
Which is interesting.
Dang.
Which one did you say had the pictures and stuff?
I thought it was 2.
2?
I thought it was
maybe it's 3.
2.
2? Okay. I just wonder what it would have been.
At the time, yeah, Barry said Ending 3 spoiled manga readers.
Really?
And when you were talking about it, Eric, he mentioned that you were...
Okay.
He
so
thinks that you were meaning
is it
3.
the images of the paintings and stuff?
Probably.
Interesting. I wonder what all they spoiled exactly. I need to go and rewatch that. Hervale says, do you have a favorite theme or soundtrack from the show? So we went through a lot of the openings and stuff. Is there any theme of any character or anything specifically that stands out that you enjoyed a lot from the show?
I have a really tough time picking out themes.
I do too. I know Eric usually picks out things a lot better as far as like themes and stuff too. I don't know if I necessarily do. I feel like I need like to listen to them a few times before I really like. I think that's why also like 8 and 9 of the openings I'm kind of like I don't really like them too much. I need to listen to them. All the other ones I listen to 10 times at least. You know, just in the seasons playing through, so they don't quite stand out as much when I haven't yet.
I know the one that's on my playlist that I listen to the most is Barricades. The name of that song.
I mean, I want to say Levi's theme. I mean, I like leitmotifs and all that type of thing, but it's also cheating because every time you hear it, it's so hype. Maybe Levi's theme in terms of like the in-show music. Yeah. I also love the Scouts. The Scout theme is good as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
One of my favorite moments of the entire show, and this is going to sound weird, but my favorite moment in the entire show is when all the people are choosing where they're going to go, right? Like, are you going to go to the military police? You going to go to the Scouts? You going to go here? And Irvin just goes up and he tells everybody, like, hey, this sucks, and you don't want to come here. And then the people that stay, he's like, all right, recruits, this is a genuine salute. You did it. That's bravery. I love that moment. And the score there is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Recruits, this is a genuine salute. Oh, love it. But it's not about what they can do. It's just that they're going to do it. Like, just the idea that they're going to do it is such
they're
a
going to
powerful
try.
moment. Yeah.
Even the fact that they're brave enough to try is an achievement.
Yeah. Like, that's the golden part of Attack on Titan. For me.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, I don't really have another one for that. But we're almost out of time. Let's do Daniel JPB. Says, what deaths did you find the most surprising? And were there any characters that you were surprised lived or lived longer than they should have?
I mean, we talked about it before, sorry, but Aaron, like, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very surprising, sure.
Levi Squad was my most surprising.
Sasha, right?
Yeah, Sasha was
on the plane.
Yeah.
Like that one for me, I think, because like I really liked her, and I just was so like it wasn't like Hanji, you know, it wasn't like Irvin, it wasn't like a lot of these other ones that we've had and stuff where it's like I understand when this happens and why it happened. And that one there, I'm just like, but we got here.
Yeah.
Now it happens.
Yeah.
You know?
And that one hit everyone else so hard compared to some of the others. I feel like just the crew themselves.
Yeah.
Seemed to be really super affected by that one.
Yeah. Honestly, Gabby, she had I think someone in chat just saying too when she shot it was Aaron, right?
Aaron. Yep.
Yeah.
Like that moment there was also like she just sitting there waiting, like dang it, this girl and her shooting. But I think Sasha's probably my most surprised one.
I always knew Aaron would. I never thought Aaron was going to make it out of the show, but I did not expect him to be a head that Mikasa would kiss. That shocked me. I was like, oh my gosh.
Saying that one is surprised that lived longer than they should have. It was Flock with the boat, right?
Yeah.
That one surprised me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like that, I felt like they were dead, and they obviously were not. You know. Maybe another one too, and like I don't think about it as much now, but perhaps Aaron's father's death.
Grisha, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that one, like we're like, where is he? Where is he? You know, for so long, we're like, I don't know, and then eventually you get the memories, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
He's not here anymore.
Right.
Oh,
He's not going to be found either.
that's where he is. You know, that's kind of a surprising little twist there too. You know, like that was a long time of like, where could his dad be? And what's in the cellar?
Yeah, I think the one that sticks with me the most is Grisha's sister.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's surprising as much, but I think it
Horrifying.
sticks with you a lot.
It does stick with you.
Yeah, if you're saying like shocking, then
Yeah. As far as just I get what you mean.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, like Aaron's mom, like the first real
Yeah,
big
sure.
thing that happens.
Popsicle moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the popsicle moment.
And our protagonists are always losing their parents, though.
Sure.
Yeah, but it was particularly gruesome.
Hey,
And he watched it.
what about what's his name? What's the one guy that's just like, oh yeah, we happen to have like a sick torturer amongst us in the high command. Remember him?
Oh yeah, I
With the
remember
chair?
him.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of his
I
name.
can't think of his name, but that was always every time I get to that, I'm
What-
always like, this guy,
Huh.
Zachary.
Zachary.
Oh, okay.
That
I
sounds
remember
right.
yeah.
But Aaron is also not ruined a part, but every time there's that bombing. When they bring in the chair and Aaron's like, "You here for the butt stuff?" Like in the reaction.
Yeah.
I'll never watch that scene and not think of him saying that, and then it
Yeah.
explodes.
Oh my gosh.
We're here for the butt thing? Yeah, that's what Toastmaster just said.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No, I need
It's
to
in,
rewatch that.
It's in one of the best of Blind Waves.
Is it?
We're here for the butt thing?
Oh man. All right, guys. Well, it's 5 o'clock. It's
Somewhere,
time for
yeah.
us to be wrapping up the podcast. I'm sorry we
Yeah.
didn't get to everybody's questions. I tried to grab at least. There's a few people that entered a few questions. I tried to at least grab a question from each person as much as
Okay.
I could.
Yeah.
And
And that's it.
maybe at some point we'll get to talk about more anime stuff. Maybe we'll do an anime tier listing in general and just kind of talk about a lot of anime stuff. But it is fun to be able to have podcasts where we can just kind of talk spoilers with chat about whatever. Especially like when we try to do these wrap up, like we've finished this show. Let's talk about it with everybody.
Sorry, Jake.
Sorry, Jake.
Yeah.
Now, especially like when the first 2 seasons were out, I always felt like this show was like one of the ones where it's like, you never watched anime? You should check out Death Note, or you should check out Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Do you still think it still has that now that it's all complete and we have a fuller story?
Man, I
'Cause
mean,
it's a complicated show.
Is this
Yeah,
a good
it
one
is.
for like people who don't watch anime?
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
what do you pick?
Like Death Note, I feel like is a good one for people,
I think
or at least the first half.
I think Death Note could be good. I really think like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a really good one.
This one doesn't have a lot of. I don't feel like it has a ton of. It's meant to
doesn't
be a
have the
mystery,
anime
so you're
moments.
trying to uncover a mystery, and it's not quite as. Some have a more complicated power scaling system method. Like Hunter x Hunter, I feel like is a little bit more complicated of like a power system.
I just think, especially those first 2 or the 3 seasons, like there's something about getting to the end and you just want to immediately watch the next one. You know, what happens? You know, like Lost is always good about that. No matter what happened in the actual episode, the ending is always like, you want to watch the next one? And then it's really easy now to go yes.
Yeah.
So,
So
it could be a good story.
Well, I
don't
think
know.
it is kind of tricky and complicated with the mystery aspect of it. I don't think it's complicated as like an anime as a whole.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I get
Yeah.
you. Like I wouldn't recommend it to my dad, but I'd probably recommend it to my brother
Sure.
in terms of like start an anime.
But like I think I
this.
would recommend like Jujutsu Kaisen
Mhm.
lower because I think it's a little bit more complicated in its power system and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
And understanding how that stuff operates than this is, where it's like, well, here's these guys who are just basically human,
Yeah.
and then here's these guys who are titans, and then it slowly unveils more of that story for you.
Sure.
And I don't feel like I was confused on how the power bases worked, if that made sense.
Mhm.
Where I think other shows sometimes you might be.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Wondering.
But anyway,
Hell of a
guys,
show.
great show. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this.
Don't watch this.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
we want to try to have more of these for shows that we wrap up and finish that are actually done. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll try to let you guys know as those come along. But I think that's it for Attack on Titan. Make sure you guys are following us over on Blind Wave for more reactions and stuff too, if you're not. But otherwise, guys, anything else?
To be concluded.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow when we start playing Suicide Squad, Kill the
Yep.
Justice League.
Yep.
That's our game
Absolutely.
for tomorrow in our group stream. So hope to see you guys then. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Rumbling.